You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now. I'm back. Rodgers for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about UFC commentator and the owner of the largest podcast in the United States, Joe Rogan, and his interview with Aaron Rodgers. We did a video yesterday. They were discussing the pandemic. Well, this was a portion of that interview that came off of that, in which Joe Rogan surprisingly dropped a bomb. Aaron Rodgers laughed, by the way. And he heaped praise on, look, one of our favorites, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. Yes, top governor himself, Ron DeSantis, who eventually, someday, will be a presidential candidate. We believe Trump will come first again, and then comes DeSantis. Nevertheless, a lot of people never thought they would hear Joe Rogan just come out and say it. He's got 200 million listeners a month. The reach of this guy, especially among a lot of conservatives and independents, moderates, is huge. And he just came out and said it. Finally, vote Republican. How about that? And we do have that video. Vote Republican. Joe Rogan tells Americans to swing red after serious errors were made during the pandemic. Podcast host Joe Rogan, in his latest episode of the Joe Rogan Experience with NFL superstar quarterback Aaron Rodgers, advised American people who were forced to shutter their doors, close their businesses, and who were harassed over COVID-19 mandates during the pandemic to, quote, vote Republican. Rogan's comments came on Saturday while he discussed COVID vaccines with Rodgers, who famously declined the jab. Over a 3-hour conversation, I have not heard it yet. I've got to listen to this. The two jested about legacy media corporations praising the vaccination as the solution to the global pandemic and politicians who broke their draconian mandates primarily in Democrat-ran cities and states. Yeah, we saw Democratic leaders going to Florida on vacation while their citizens were getting screwed. I mean, it's unfathomable to me that people will still vote Democrat. I just cannot even believe it. Quote, I hope there are lessons learned in this thing because this is a new thing. We've never had anything like this before. No one who is alive today has ever experienced a true pandemic, and I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. That's the best thing you can get out of it. When Rodgers asked Rogan what he would tell people who have lost their livelihoods due to government forcing such mandates, Rogan said, quote, vote Republican without skipping a beat. Americans have already begun switching their voter registration status. According to voter registration data analyzed by the AP, more than 1 million voters across 43 states have shifted towards the Republican Party. That same data shows that about 600,000 of 1.7 million voters who changed their party affiliation registered Democrats. The shift has likely come from Democrats' rhetoric in response to pandemic and the Biden administration's record gas prices and open border crisis. Quote, Biden and Democrats are woefully out of touch with American people, and that's why voters are flocking to the Republican Party. The Wall Street Journal reported that economic study released in April 2021 showed the pandemic resulted in roughly 800,000 U.S. establishments permanently closing during the first year of the viral outbreak, 200,000 more than a typical year. Rogan backed up his argument using the response from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who endured relentless criticism from the liberal media talking heads for keeping the state open, quote, reasonable policies that protected the elderly and provided medical care for everyone, and, quote, Everyone else should be able to do whatever they want to do and protect your freedom. Let's just listen to this.
No one who is alive today had ever experienced a true pandemic. And I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to, recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. That's the best you can get out of it.
So what do you tell those people?
Vote Republican. That's what a lot of them are going to do anyway.
You think Rodgers ain't voting Republican?
I mean, more than 1 million people
is.
transferred over to the Republican Party, I think in 2021 alone. Find out what that number is. But, you look at guys like Ron DeSantis, who kept Florida open and had some pretty reasonable policies in terms of, like, what to do about COVID. And, he mapped it out on television. He was, widely criticized for this, where he was saying, like, we need to protect our elders. We need to, make sure that medical care is available for those people. And everyone else, you should be able to do whatever you want to do and protect your freedom.
Yeah. I mean, if not, it's crazy that anybody wants to still be just wrapped up in the nonsense that came out of that pandemic. That was so effed up. It is unreal. Not to mention everything else going on with the economy, inflation, and I don't know what anybody's talking about. I know this is black and white sports, but all these supposed wins Biden's getting, the mainstream media is telling you, what wins exactly? Wins for who? The radical left? Come on, stop. In my opinion, this is a pretty big deal. Ron DeSantis gets praised by Joe Rogan, and Rogan just flat comes out and says it, vote Republican. I mean, he came out just a couple weeks ago and said, look, the only media source that had my back during the pandemic was Fox News. I mean, I think he recognizes that. I know this isn't the first time. He is a massive Ron DeSantis fan. So, I guess we'll find out. He has come out and said he thought he would be a really damn good president. But, and that Aaron Rodgers laugh in that whole segment was great. Oh, the Twitter mob will be pissed today. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.